Other books by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Uddhava visits Vrindavan. Okay, so let's do our prayer to Lord Krishna. Let's start off with I'll start it off is best. Krishna, 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 hey. All right, Jai.
Krishna, 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 hey.
Shamarani.
Krishna, 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 Rakshama.
Alex, Pahimam.
Krishna, 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 Yama.
Rama Raghava. Oh, Rama Raghava. Go ahead, Ramesh. You've got the name Ram.
Ram Raghav, Ram Raghav, Ram Raghav, Rakshama.
Very nice. And then the last one, Jai.
Rakshama.
Krishna Kesha, Krishna Kesha, Krishna Kesha, Pahimam.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so if we'll start off with that last paragraph that we were going to start off with. Go ahead, Jai.
While describing the uncommon activities of Krishna before Uddhava, Nanda Maharaj gradually became overwhelmed and could no longer speak. As her mother Yashoda sat by the side of her husband and heard the pastimes of Krishna without speaking. He simply cried incessantly, and milk poured from her breast. When Uddhava saw Maharaj Nanda and Yashoda so extraordinarily overwhelmed with thoughts of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and when he experienced their extraordinary affection for him, he also became overwhelmed and spoke as follows. My dear mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, most respectable among human beings, because no one but you can meditate in such transcendental ecstasy. Uddhava continued.
Yeah, there we are. You see, that's lovely there. That's what a nice interaction with Krishna and Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai there. And Uddhava was witnessing this, actually, this extremely intense affection, loving affection for Krishna, that even Mother Yashoda, even her body was reacting to the feelings for Krishna in such a motherly way. This is called Vatsalya Rasa, or Vatsalya Bhava, and that feeling of parental affection for Krishna, or it may be that you're Krishna's son. You can be also Krishna's son. Krishna had many, many sons, but did he have any daughters? Well, we know Krishna had many, many sons, but did he have any daughters? Who knows? Who knows if Krishna had some daughters? He was producing a family in Dwarka with Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati. What was the name of Krishna's son born from Jambavati? It's a dance in South America.
Was it? I'm just having a go, Prabhu. Is it? Was it Samba?
Samba, the South American, it's a Brazilian dance. So Krishna's son Samba was born from Jambavati, and it was Samba who played the trick on the Rishi. I think it was Durvasa, asking him what kind of child I'll have. He was dressed up, playing a joke, dressed up as a lady, and pretending to be pregnant with a child. And inside there was a ball of metal. And Durvasa said, whatever's there will be the death of the whole Yadu dynasty. And indeed it was. That was turned into thousands and thousands of filings that grew into very strong reeds. You could say like a reed, metal reeds, very, very strong. That the Yadus killed each other with those reeds that grew out of the sea. That's later. So did Krishna have any? Well, I have never read that Krishna had, but I may have read and forgotten. So let's keep that open then, shall we? Let's keep it open. If Krishna had any daughters, I know he had many sons in Dwarka. Okay, so let's ask Jigna. Hare Krishna, Jigna.
Hare Krishna.
So now we're starting off with the paragraph Uddhava continued.
Sorry, I found it. Uddhava continued. Balaram and Krishna are the original personalities of Godhead, from whom the cosmic manifestation emanates. They are chief among all personalities. Each of them is both the material and the efficient cause of this material creation. Material nature is conducted by the Purusha incarnations, who all act under Krishna and Balaram. By their partial representation, they enter the hearts of all living entities. They are the source of all knowledge and all forgetfulness also. This is confirmed by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. I am present in everyone's heart, and I cause one to remember and forget. I am the original compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the actual knower of the Vedas. Uddhava continued, if at the time of death a person can fix his pure mind upon Krishna even for a moment, after giving up his material body, he becomes eligible to appear in his original spiritual body, just as the sun rises with all illumination. Passing from his life in this way, he immediately enters into the spiritual kingdom, Vaikuntha.
Okay, all right, it's very nice. So Srila Prabhupada has also quoted a verse from Bhagavad Gita here, chapter 15. Who knows the name of the chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita? Begins with
Purushottam Yoga?
Yes, Purushottam Yoga. Yes, or the yoga of the Supreme Person, Purush Uttam. And he's quoted a verse 15:15, which is a very, very famous verse from Bhagavad Gita. It's one of those verses that everyone would learn within 1 month of being in the temple. You'd learn this verse. It's a very, very important verse. Who knows this shloka? Who knows this shloka? Ramesh Bhai? Alex?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Alex, do you know it?
Sorry, Prabhu.
So please repeat. Sarvasya Chaham.
Sarvasya Chaham.
Oh, everyone can repeat it though. Sham Kishore Prabhu, do you know this verse?
No, I don't know this stuff.
Okay, this is 15.
Which one is it?
This is Bhagavad Gita 15:15.
15. Okay.
15:15, yeah, 15:15. So let's repeat it together. It's such an important verse. Sarvasya Chaham.
Sarvasya Chaham.
Hridi Sanivishta.
Yidhi Sannivishta.
Mata Smitir. Jnanam.
Jnanam.
Apohanam Cha.
Pohanam Cha.
Vedaishcha Sharvair.
Vedashta Sarvaya.
Aham Eva Vedyo.
Aham Evam Vedyo.
Vedanta Krit.
Vedanta Krit.
Vedavid.
Vedavid.
Eva Chaham.
eva chaham.
This is the verse. I am seated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishtaha. So it means I am situated in everyone's heart, in the region of the heart. Krishna says in the Gita 60 or 61, I can't remember, but he says there, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridesher juna tishtati brahmayam sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. These are lovely verses from the Gita where Krishna is describing how he's situated in this hrideshe. Okay, so this area here, around this area, Krishna is situated as the Paramatma, with the consciousness, with the mind, the whole thing, everything's happening here with us. Nothing happening here at all, nothing. Everything happens here. And it comes up to there. From here to there, then blah! Okay, but here, this is the mechanics, the brain, simply the mechanics of the body, simply the mechanical structure. So I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes all knowledge, all remembrance, and all forgetfulness. So we can relate to knowledge and to remembrance. They're useful. How is forgetfulness? How is Krishna? What's the use of Krishna making us forget? Oh, I've forgotten to bring the cake to the birthday party. Oh my God, it's 100 miles down the road. Oh, I've forgotten to bring the Christmas present or Diwali presents. I forgot to put the box in the car. I forgot to do something important, So how can this forgetting? Krishna makes us forget. So how can it be beneficial? Anyone know?
Prabhu, is this something stemming from forgetting? So to forget our past lives is a boon. And
there we are. Yes, we may have mentioned it before then. Yes, you're right, Prabhu. Yeah, Krishna helps us forget our past lives. Because if we were remembering our past lives, we would be we'd be schizophrenic. We'd have multiple mental problems, multiple. So we have to forget the previous lives in order to make progress. So that is a benediction, a great benediction, that we forget our previous life. And sometimes in this lifetime, we forget things, and that's a kind of punishment then. It becomes a form of punishment when we forget something important. But who do we approach if we've lost something? Say you've lost something. Has anybody ever lost something? Is it only me that loses things?
I put my hand
all the time.
All the time. So who do we pray to if we've lost something in the Sanatan Dharma? If we've lost something and we can't find it anywhere, who do we approach?
Lord Ganesh.
Close, but no.
Okay.
Who found Sita?
Ram.
Hanumanji. So Hanuman found Sita for Ram. He was the one, he was looking around, and then he found her in the Ashoka garden in Lanka. And he said, "Come on, I'll take you back. I'll take you now." And then she said, "No, let Ram come." And of course, Hanuman had Ram's ring. You know the story. The story is there, Ramayan. So we often can pray to Hanuman if we've lost something, we can't find it. Hanuman was expert at finding Sita. And anyway, Hanuman is there, Hanumanji, a great Bhava, Dasya Bhava, a great servant of Krishna. There's no better servant of God than Hanuman. There is no higher, better servant of the Lord than Hanumanji. Who was Hanuman in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes? He appeared. What was his name? Of course, Hanuman is also famous for something else. Rog. He can cure our rog, our sickness. It's in the Hanuman Chalisa. So, who was Hanumanji in Chaitanya Leela? He appeared in Chaitanya Leela. Prahlad Maharaj appeared as Vasudev Datta. All the many great associates of Lord Krishna appeared in Chaitanya Leela, and Balaram. Many of the gopas and gopis appeared. So who was Hanuman in Chaitanya Leela?
Murari Gupta.
Murari Gupta. Is that Jigna? Did you really say that, Jigna?
Yes.
Thank you, Jigna. Yes, Murari Gupta. What was his job? What was he doing?
Oh, I don't know that.
He was a Vaidya. Vaidya, doctor. Okay. Dr. Gupta. Dr. Gupta. Vaidya. Murari Gupta. And of course, Hanuman, he's very expert at curing the sicknesses. So there's some points there on that Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Okay, Shamarani, can you do, this is the result.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
This is the result of Krishna conscious practice. If we practice Krishna conscious in this present body, while in a healthy condition and in good mind, simply by chanting the holy Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, we will have every possibility of fixing the mind upon Krishna at the time of death. If we do this, then our lives become successful without any doubt. But if we keep our minds always absorbed in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, then naturally at the time of death, we shall think of such activities and again be forced to enter material conditioned bodies to suffer the threefold miseries of material existence. Therefore, to remain always absorbed in Krishna consciousness was the standard of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, as exhibited by Maharaj Nanda, Yashoda, and the gopis. If we can simply follow in their footsteps, even to a minute proportion, our lives will surely become successful and we shall enter the spiritual kingdom, Vaikuntha.
Okay, who's visited Vrindavan here? Jai Prakash Prabhu? Sham Kishore Prabhu, you've been to Vrindavan? All right. Jigna?
Yes, we did.
Yes, I have.
Ganesh Bhai? Vrindavan
Yeah.
go? Vrindavan
Yeah.
go?
Yeah, I've been there.
Alex?
No, the closest I've been is Haridwar, Rishikesh, and Kashi, but not Vrindavan.
I thought he was going to say the closest I've been to Vrindavan is Switzerland.
Probably, it feels like that now. So yes, so
Okay,
Yeah.
so Vrindavan, how many temples are situated in Vrindavan? How many temples?
5,000?
Yes, about 5,000. There are many big temples, of course. The temples of the Goswamis are there, Madan Mohan, Radha Govindaji, Banka Bihari, Radha Raman, Radha Shamsundar, Radha Damodar, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gopinath. There's many temples there, nice ones. Big ones, some of them. There's the South Indian temple, the famous Sri Rangam temple is there. There's the Pagal Baba temple is there, very nice big temple. There's lots of mandirs, and then there's lots of small ones, small chota mandirs everywhere. So in Vrindavan it's very easy, just by walking around. Even if you're going shopping, even if you go to Loy Bazaar, like me, You'll always see me in Loy Bazaar, by the way. So if you go to Loy Bazaar, you still hear the bell, ding, 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 ding. Hare Krishna, you always hear some kirtan, Jai Radhe Radhe. You know, so Vrindavan, you know, it's naturally you're Krishna conscious in Vrindavan. Naturally, you know, you can't help it to be Krishna conscious in Vrindavan. It's the Jamuna River. Who has bathed in the Jamuna River? Who has been brave enough to bathe in the Jamuna River, the most contaminated river now in India? Well, I can say I bathed in Jamuna in 1982, and she was very clean in those days, very, very nice when we were bathing. But every time I go to Vrindavan, I'll always go to the Jamuna and just take a bath quickly, take some water, go in there into Jamuna, and say some prayers, regardless of the condition. So Jamuna, naturally, she's full of Krishna Prem. Who's been to Radhakund in Govardhan? Yes, so Jai Prakash, Shamarani. Okay, Sham Kishore, yes. Jigna? Radhakund?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Well, just by bathing in the Radhakund, just by entering, even taking water and putting on the head, we get so much purification, and the nectar of Krishna consciousness is there. The love for Krishna is there. Shamakund, Radhakund, Giri Govardhan, doing parikram around Govardhan Hill, Govindakund, Brahmakund, Brahmanda Ghat. There's so many places in Vrindavan. Keshi Ghat. Oh dear me! Now I'm thinking of Vrindavan. Now I want to go to Vrindavan. Who would like to go to Vrindavan tonight? We'll fly out of Gatwick tonight. We'll pick up Jai Prakash from Gatwick. Vrindavan. So just this is how it's easy to be Krishna conscious in Vrindavan. You know, it's the dust is there, the atmosphere, the devotees are there. There's so many temples to visit. There's so many places. Varshana. There's the Rawal, where Radharani opened her eyes for the first time. There's Nandagram. Oh gosh, there's so many places to visit around Vrindavan. Can anyone think of any other places? Oh gosh, there's loads of them. We went to one place that was full of peacocks, full of mayurs. Where was that place we went?
Rajasthan, Koili or somewhere?
No, that was Karoli. That was Rajasthan. There's loads and loads of places in Vrindavan to visit. Can anyone think of another place in Vrindavan?
Nitivan?
Huh?
Nitivan?
In Imlivat.
Nitivan. Is that the forest where?
Yes. There's Talavan, Idlivan. There's
Kadamba. There's a Kadamba.
Kadamba. Yes, the Kadamba. Yes, the Kadamba tree is there. Well, we used to go on the parikram, you see, around the old Jamuna trail. Now they've built a road there, but there used to be a dusty parikram there, and we'd walk around that where the Jamuna used to be, and that was a real treat. So, but now if we go to Vrindavan, unfortunately a lot of sound in Vrindavan, it's not just ding, 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 ding. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Radhe, Radhe. Now it's beep, beep, Now a lot of it is covered over with the traffic problem. and then you're walking peacefully along some gully, and suddenly a bike comes behind you. So that's it won't last for long. It won't last for long. But still, even then, we're very Krishna conscious in Vrindavan. So just when you can, what I did in Vrindavan, actually, I recorded lots of sounds in Vrindavan, and I've got on my, like, on the phone, and you've got all these different sounds of Vrindavan. Just the sounds, you know, not the rickshaw wallahs and the motorbikes, but the Honda Heroes, but the just the sounds of Vrindavan, just nice sounds, you know. And we used to have one tape back in the day when we had tapes called The Sounds of Raman Reti. Who would like to hear the sounds of Raman Reti every morning while they're chanting japa?
Yeah.
And then the sound of the river Jamuna. And all the sounds are there. And then you just chanting japa. Who'd like to have that in their repertoire of sounds? Yeah, every morning you just put that on. Well, I'll try to get something together and send it to you on a WhatsApp. Is that all right? Does that sound good?
That's brilliant, Prabhu.
Okay, it's going to cost you a lot of money, by the way. But anyway, that's another thing.
That's another story.
Well, I'm not really bothered now, actually. Okay, now it'll be muft. Don't worry, muft hair, muft. Sorry, Moffat chair, Moffat. Okay, so now let's go to, this is the result of, no, my dear Mother Yashoda. Go on, Alex, my dear Mother Yashoda. Sound on, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
My
Hare.
dear Yashoda and Nandana Maharaj, Uddhava continued, you have thus fixed your minds wholly and solely upon that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Those transcendental form is the cause of impersonal Brahman. The Brahman effulgence is only the bodily rays of Narayana. And because you are always absorbed in ecstatic thoughts of Krishna and Balarama, what pious activity remains for you to perform? I have brought a message from Krishna that he will very soon come back to Vrindavan and satisfy you by his personal presence. Krishna promised that he would come back to Vrindavan after finishing his business in Mathura. This promise he will surely fulfill. I therefore request the two of you, who are the best among all who are fortunate, not to be aggrieved on account of Krishna's absence.
Okay, so Uddhava's also promising here. No, don't worry, Krishna will come back. But what was the previous reason we read why Krishna didn't return to Vrindavan from Mathura? Can anyone remember?
Not to attract the demons.
Yes, because if he returned to Vrindavan, the Asuras, Dantavaka, Kamsa, Jarasandha, even others would come there, you see, looking for Krishna, where we want to get rid of this Krishna. So Krishna purposefully didn't return because he didn't want to create a disturbance for everybody else. So that was a good reason. So Uddhava now, based on that point, is assuring them that don't worry, Krishna is going to come back. He will return. Of course, Krishna, he never returned to Vrindavan. So on account of not returning to Vrindavan, what was the scenario in Kurukshetra with the gopis and Radharani on account of this? Who remembers that? Later on, when Krishna had been away from Vrindavan for many years and was a prince in Dwarka, and who can remember, what happened there in Kurukshetra? The gopis, they tried to hijack Krishna's chariot. Yes, come on, somebody say something.
It's the Rath Yatra festival.
It's the Rath Yatra festival, yes. So Krishna, by not returning to Vrindavan, he created this scenario of intense separation from him, the gopis, particularly Radharani and the Saki, the gopis, and they were dragging Krishna on the chariot with Balaram and Subhadra, dressed in royal clothing, a giant pugri. Krishna had big pugri like Jagannath wears. Woof! Hare Krishna. Hello, Krishna, we don't like you like this. They said, you're the same Krishna. You're the same Krishna, but look at you, you're dressed all fancy. You're a fancy man now. Krishna, you're too fancy. You're wearing all this mukut and big giant pugri, and you're surrounded by soldiers and elephants, and you're in Aishwarya, you're in this Aishwarya bhav, this opulence, 50 rings on your fingers and earrings, it's just too much, Krishna. They were complaining. Isn't that right, Shyam Kishore Prabhu? Heavy complaints. Krishna, you're not the same. You are the same, but you're not the same Krishna that we like. We like the simple gopa, simple cowherd boy. Very, very, you're now surrounded with all these kshatriyas and kings and princes. And who are those queens over there? Who are they? They didn't like these queens. Of course, they were nice to them, but they didn't like Krishna in this mood at all. What is the name of Krishna in this mood? Of Kurukshetra Krishna, Dwarka, and that's why they call Jagannath Puri Kshetra Dham, because Jagannath Puri temple represents Kurukshetra, and the other mandir, Gundicha, represents Vrindavan. Gundicha represents Vrindavan. So what's the name of Krishna in the Kurukshetra when he visited Kurukshetra? What was his title, his name? Begins with a V. A.
Vatsala.
Sorry?
Vatsala.
Vatsala. No, thanks for trying, Prabhu. V-A-S.
Vasudev.
Vasudev, thank you. So this is Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate.
Vasudeva.
Yes, Vasudeva means one. Vasu means Vastu, like Vastu, one who exists everywhere. Krishna Vasudev. He's all pervading. Reading the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer my respectful obeisances, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva, to the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Vasudev Krishna is Krishna in his stately order as the prince, as the Kshatriya, as the son of Devaki and Vasudev. Vasudev. So this is Krishna in this mood. in Kurukshetra, and the gopis didn't like it. They said, "This is, you are Krishna, but you are not the Krishna that we like." Okay, so they wanted Krishna, so they were demanding. So they took the chariot, and they were pulling the chariot back to Vrindavan. This is called Ratha Yatra. Ratha Yatra. And when we are pulling the chariot, we are taking the part of the gopis. Okay? We're all in that gopi bhava. When we're pulling the chariot, we are Krishna is Jagannath Krishna is Vasudev Krishna. Just Jagannath is Vasudev Krishna. And he sees us all as his gopis. Everyone who pulls that chariot, the gopis were pulling. I'm not sure if any of the men were pulling. I'm thinking now, am I being prejudiced here? Was Nanda pulling it? I can't remember. Well, listen, it's in the Krishna book. We'll find out later. Okay, let's go to the next part.
They were pulling from where to Vrindavan? From Mathura.
From Kurukshetra.
From Kurukshetra.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is quite a distance. Who's visited Kurukshetra, by the way? Jai has been there. We've been there. To Jyoti Sar. When you go to Kurukshetra, one of the first things you see in Kurukshetra is Dhritarashtra, Bhishma Dev. Big, massive, big statues of Bhishma Dev and the Pandavas and the Mahabharat. It's very prominent. The mood of Mahabharat is very strong in Kurukshetra. All right, so let's ask Shyam Kishore Prabhu if you can start with the next paragraph.
I'm not sure where I am. Which chapter I'm.
Which what?
Which chapter?
What chapter?
I was just listening.
Okay, so no, try to follow. Tell him which Krishna book do you have?
Around this one.
Oh, it should be chapter 45, no? Or 46? Uddhava visits Vrindavan. Ramesh Bhai, you can carry on, please. Kripya.
Okay. Which paragraph?
Shamarani, can you tell him which word we starts off with?
We're starting from my dear mother Yashoda. Oh no, sorry, Prabhu. You are already perceiving his presence.
All right, yes. You are already perceiving his presence. This is Uddhava speaking, you see. Now. He's speaking to Yashoda and Nanda. And he's saying that you already perceiving his presence. While he's looking.
Yeah, I've got it. Oh, no.
Go ahead then.
Should I read now?
Oui.
Okay. You're already perceiving his presence 24 hours a day. Yes, he will come and see you very soon. Actually, he's present everywhere and in everyone's heart, just as fire's present in wood. Since Krishna is the super soul, he regards everyone equally. He sees no one as his enemy, no one as his friend, and no one as lower or higher than him. He actually has no father, mother, brother, or relative, nor does he require society, friendship, and love. He does not have a material body like us. He never appears or takes birth like an ordinary human being. He does not appear in higher or lower species of life, like ordinary living entities who are forced to take birth on account of their previous creative activities. He appears by his internal potency just to give protection to his devotees. He is never influenced by the modes of material nature But when he appears within this material world, he seems to act like an ordinary living entity under the spell of the modes of material nature. But in fact, he is the overseer of this material creation, and while remaining unaffected by the material modes of nature, he creates, maintains, and dissolves the whole cosmic manifestation. We wrongly look upon Krishna and Balaram as ordinary human beings, just as wailing men see the whole world wailing around them. The personage of Godhead is no one's son. He is actually everyone's father, mother, and supreme controller. There is no doubt of it. There is no doubt of this. Whatever is already being experienced, whatever is not being experienced, whatever already exists, does not exist, or will exist in the future. Whatever is the smallest and whatever is the biggest have no existence outside the Supreme Personality of God. Everything rests in Him, but He is untouched by everything manifested.
Okay, so that's a lovely paragraph, and that paragraph can be taken out of this whole book, and that is like a little sort of segment of Bhagavad Gita there. Instructions in the Gita, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani maya tishvavashtitaha. That's Bhagavad Gita, that's in the 9th chapter, very important shloka. So that whole thing there, Krishna has no father, mother, Krishna has no enemy or friend, Maya tatam idam sarvam, Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu, they're all there in Gita. These are like Bhagavad Gita instructions here in that paragraph. So that's a very nice paragraph to copy and paste and keep somewhere. It's a very nice thing to just bring up to describe Krishna. That's very, very nice there. It's all referring to his absolute nature. The Supreme Lord is absolute, good and bad are in him, but all is good. Young and old is in him, but he's always young. Even the old is young. He's the oldest of all, yet he is the youngest and most fresh youth. He's ever fresh with blooming youthfulness. Blooming like a flower is opening. So he's like a youth, but he's the oldest of the old. Oh dear. We'll have to turn off the unmute you, Prabhu. This is all opposites, all dualities are resolved in Krishna. All dualities. Therefore, Krishna is called Advaita or Advayam. When we say Advayam, it means non-dual. That doesn't mean it's just one thing. The foolish Mayavadis, the foolish impersonalists, they think God is Brahman, and it's just Brahman is just one thing, because it's Advayam. No, they don't understand what Advayam means. Absolute. They have very, very shallow understanding of Advaita. Yet they propound Advaitavad. They say that we are very learned Vedantists. They don't even understand Advaita. Yet they propound it themselves as Advaitavadis or Mayavadis, Brahmavadis. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is explained very nicely. Srimad Bhagavatam 1-11. Everyone write it down, please. 1-11. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.11. Okay, Ramesh Bhai? 1.2.11. Ek be, not do. 1.2.11.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam. Please read it. Go find the shloka, read it, and if you have time, learn it. If you have time.
Okay.
Okay, 1 to 11, Srimad Bhagavatam. This explains this Advaitam. It's called Advayam. I'm not going to go, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You just go to it in your own time. When you have, you know, reading in bed, or you're having 5 minutes free time, just open Bhagavatam or go on Vedabase 1.2.11. And that will clarify what this Advaitam, as a real Advaitam, not this that it's Brahman only, that we're all Brahman, Nirvishesh, there's no variety. That's extremely boring. How can you be just one thing forever? It's insane. But there we are. Envious people are considered insane. Envy is an insane situation, pramada. So I'm not going to continue with this point. I've said my bit there. So let's go to Ramesh Bhai. You can carry on, please.
Okay. Okay.
Nanda and Uddhava.
Nand and Uddhav thus passed the whole night discussing Krishna. In the morning, the gopi prepare for morning arti by lighting their lamp and sprinkling butter mixed with the yogurt. After finishing their Mangala Arti, they engaged themselves in sharing butter from the yogurt. While the gopi were thus engaged, the lamp reflected on their ornament made the ornament still brighter. Their tuning rod, their arm, their earring, their bangles, their breast, everything moved, and kunkuma powder give their face a saffron luster comparable to the rising sun. While making sound by churning, they also sung the glories of Krishna. The two sound vibration mixed together ascended to sky and sanctified the whole atmosphere.
Oh, that's a lovely, very nice description. This is described, I say this shloka, quite often. Nearly every day. I have certain shlokas I say after I've done some morning arti. And this is Smriti Sakalakalanya Vidadi Gopal Vilasinam Samboga Janakita Savagata Pavitramam Udgayetam Aravinda Lochanam Lochanam, Krishna's lotus eyes, Vajangdvam Aspasha Dvani Tadnas Cha Shabda Mishrito Nirashita Jena Disham Amangalam. The sweet sound of the gopi songs about Aravinda Lakshanam. Aravinda, the lotus-eyed Krishna, touched the sky and blended harmoniously with the sound of the churning of yogurt. So the gopis are there, and of course they have a churning rod and they have the rope and they're pulling. Let's all do a bit of dahi. They make makan. It's makan time, everyone. Put the book down. Shama Kishore, it's makan time. Okay? So, come on, you have a go now. So, they're pulling. That's right. And they're pulling. Now, they're making this, they've got it tied around the rope, around the rod. The rod is now at the bottom, churning, in the mudka, big mudka. And they've got the dahi or the milk or whatever. They're making makan or dahi. And they're pulling like this, okay? There we go. Pull the makan, okay? And then they're singing. nice leelas of Krishna, and they sing Udgaitinam Aravindalochanam Vajandvam Aspashadvani. So they're singing now all Krishna's pastimes, all his activities. They all know and they have nice songs in nice chandas, nice meters, and they're singing. Of course, in our case, because we are like dumb animals in Kali Yuga, we are like dumb animals. So basically, what we have to do is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So we keep it to the Maha Mantra because we don't know all these nice songs of the gopis and how they were singing. But if you go to Vrindavan, go to the villages, and sometimes you see the ladies are there and they're all doing some work and they're all singing about Krishna. So that's a kind of a nice reflection. So that's very nice. And let's finish on, I think everybody's read, no? Yeah. Let's go back to Jigna. Go on, Jigna. You can do the last paragraph. After sunrise.
After sunrise, the gopis came as usual to offer their respects to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. But when they saw the golden chariot of Uddhava at the door, they began to inquire among themselves. What was that chariot, and to whom did it belong? Some of them inquired whether Akrura, who had taken away Krishna, had returned. They were not very much pleased with Akrura, because, being engaged in the service of Kamsa, he had taken lotus-eyed Krishna away to the city of Mathura. All the gopis conjectured that Akrura might have come again to fulfill another cruel plan. But they thought, we are now dead bodies, and without our Supreme Master Krishna, what further act can Akrura perpetrate against these dead bodies? While they were talking in this way, Uddhava finished his morning ablutions, prayers, and chanting, and came before them. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 46th chapter of Krishna, Uddhava visits Vrindavan.
Okay, so this next chapter now is it's a heartbreaking chapter because Uddhava now, who looks very similar to Krishna as well, he's very kind of similar looking, similar complexion, and Uddhava now is going to deliver the message, Krishna's personal message to the gopis. So that's where we're going to start next Tuesday. Excuse me, on this point of Uddhava delivering the message. And as we can see right from the very beginning, when the gopis see Uddhava coming off the chariot, they're thinking it may be Akrura, so they're quite indifferent to him. So what if he comes, we don't care for Akrura. He brought us bad news. He's bad news. Akrura is bad news for us. But then when he gets off, the first thing they notice, oh, he looks like Krishna. He looks very similar to Krishna. And they thought, well, he must be a very great devotee of the Lord because he looks so similar to him. So they became a little bit relieved and also a little bit enlivened. So we'll hear from that next week. So we all know where to start next week. Ta-da! Okay, new chapter. So it's very easy for Jai Prakash Prabhu. He it's very easy for him to start it next week. It's the new chapter. Okay, so let's ask everyone if they've got something to say about what we've just read. Some very interesting things we've read. Yes?
I have a question.
Yes, Jigna.
Why does Uddhava promise or say that Krishna will come back if Krishna isn't going to come back?
Because Krishna told him, and as you will find out in the message from Krishna, that Krishna has told him, tell him I'm coming back. Now, Krishna had every intention of coming back, okay? He didn't come back from Mathura simply because, as Shyama Kishore Prabhu reminded us, that, it was it Alex or Shyama Kishore? Alex, was it Alex? He reminded us that the Krishna didn't want to disturb. That's right, it was Alex. Didn't want to disturb everyone in Vrindavan. If he returned, then Dantavakra, Kamsa, other belligerent, kings, Kshatriyas, they would be attacking Vrindavan and disturbing everyone there. So he didn't come back for that reason, but Krishna had intention of coming back. He told Uddhava, and you'll find out in the message that Uddhava gives to the gopis. But as it was, what happened in Mathura? What happened? Well, Jarasandha, you see, he had got very angry because Krishna had killed Shishupal. This is going to happen later on. And he attacked Mathura. So Krishna was obliged to stay in Mathura, you see. He was obliged. And how many times did Jarasandha attack Mathura? How many times? 17 times with a big army. Each time he went back defeated, he had to get another army together. You don't get an army together in a week or two. So Krishna was obliged to stay in Mathura for some years. Finally, the 18th time, Jarasandha attacked a Yavana from the north, from Persia. The Persians are Yavanas, basically. And the Yavana, Kalayavana, attacked from the north, and Jarasandha attacked from the east, from Magadha, which is now the state of Bihar. So then that was when Jarasandha, anyway, that's another thing altogether. So Krishna got caught up with all these politics, you see, and in the end, he just couldn't get back to Vrindavan. He wanted to, but he couldn't. Okay, that's my excuse anyway for Krishna. But we'll find out more. We'll find out more. There's many reasons why Krishna, of course, Krishna knows he never left Vrindavan, you see. He stayed there in the hearts of all the devotees. In his Bhava incarnation, his Bhava avatar, in his Bhava form, he remained there. And the devotees were experiencing Krishna very intensely through this Vipralamba Bhava. So there's so many aspects of Krishna in Vrindavan, leaving Vrindavan, then his pastimes, his leelas in Dwarka, Mathura, then from Mathura and Dwarka he traveled up to Assam, to Pragjotishpur, which is now the modern city of Guwahati. And he did so many great chivalrous activities from Dwarka. So very great life Krishna, his whole Leela. All while this is happening, Krishna's there in his Bhava form in Vrindavan. He's still there, but it's apakrita. He's not manifesting himself fully. So, Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Would you like to do it? Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Shama Kishore, do you have any point you'd like to make, Prabhu?
No. Thank you, that's good. That's great.
Ramesh Bhai?
About the research.
Hare Krishna.
Ani bola je? Bye.
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Alex, any points?
No, I'm just reading what you said with the Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 11, and it's much more clearer to me now. So thank you, Prabhu. About Brahman, Paramata, and
that's for everyone to look into now. Okay?
Sorry.
To understand yourselves and look into this. It's a little homework.
It's beautiful. Anyways, it's so pertinent to what I'm thinking now. So
yeah,
no, thank you.
Yeah, we should know what Advaita is. Advaita does Advaita, Dvaita, door, two. Advaita doesn't mean one. Advaita doesn't just mean like ekada or ekatra. It doesn't just mean one. They misunderstand Advaita completely, what Advaita really means. But that sloka gives more definition.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it's amazing. So thank you.
It's what we call a cracker.
Yeah, it's definitely a cracker.
That shloka is a cracker, and I make all my students in the shloka group learn that one in level 1. That's a level 1 shloka. Very important. So
how do we join this shloka group, Prabhu?
well, my youngest student is 4 years of age, and she lives in Noida. She lives in Noida in South Delhi, and she has already learned 15 slokas.
Wow.
And she's 4.
She's way advanced than I am. I can't even
4 slokas.
remember.
But she hasn't learned all the English translation yet, because she's only 4. You got to give her a chance. But she's learned the Sanskrit.
Wow.
And yeah, she speaks it very well. She's got very, very good, clear pronunciation for a 4-year-old. No, she's just turned 5 this month. Sorry, she's just turned 5. But not bad to know 15 shlokas by the time you're 5. It's not bad, is it? I mean, how many shlokas do you know?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Ramesh, nothing.
I'm just about happy just remembering the Hare Krishna mantra, and it keeps me going. But
anyway, I'm not here to teach the slokas, but I will bring them in. I will bring them in because they are the Shabda Pramana. They're not just words. They're not just like a show of Sanskrit words, and it's actually Shabda Pramana, substance. A shloka from the Gita or the Mahabharata or the Bhagavatam or the Puranas or Ishopanishad, any of Upanishad, Kata, Mundak, Taittiriya, Shvetashvara, what Kata, whatever, this shloka is actual substance. It's real substance to give the shloka, because within that sound is the actual substance of the spiritual knowledge. The spiritual world is there in that shloka. That's why they're powerful. Udgaitanam aravindalochanam vajandvam aspashadvani tadnascha shabda mishrito nirasuto jena disham amangalam. That's that verse now. From that, we were talking about the gopis there. They were doing their thing. They were doing their thing. What do the gopis do? They do their thing. Their dance. They're not down the disco doing this. They're doing this. That's the gopi dance.
I mean, I can listen to you all day, because even though I don't understand what you said, it sounds
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol Ramesh Bhai.
Thank you very much.
Hare Bol.
Haribol.